I survived 11 years with an IEP. An IEP is an individual education plan. Over my 11 years, I have had trials. I have had successes and I have had failures. Teachers, administrators, and counselors have been very great at times, but they have also been very horrible. Oftentimes, people on an IEP are treated differently, and these differences, they truly have not been very good. I was asked in 6th grade if I wanted a modified diploma, and every year since then. I was told I was never smart enough to go into a 4-year college. I was even told that I couldn't even wrestle at the college I wanted to wrestle at. And to top that, I was told that I was slow, I was a dreamer, and I wasn't as smart as my peers. Over the next several minutes, I'm going to share with you how I overcame this and learned how to fully function on an IEP.
What is your background? Tell us a little bit about your story.
My background started when I had to repeat the 1st grade, and I was also diagnosed with a learning disability. When I think of a learning disability, I think of like ADHD, ADD, autism, all those. That's not me. I have a comprehension disorder. What may take like an average student like one time to read it or one time to hear it, it takes me a few more times, like 3, 4, or 5 times just for me to comprehend it all. In high school and continuing in college, I'm going to need to know how to self-advocate and be more creative. My personal experience has tested my determination and strengths. And straight up, I am a horrible test taker. I used to be embarrassed to ask for help, and I was also so shy to self-advocate for myself. I also had to find other ways to be successful. I've even had to get creative for myself. I've had to make verbal presentations and even be super creative with writing and reading. So I watched this movie last night, and it was called Night School with Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart's teacher had him test for learning disabilities. When it was determined he wasn't like everybody else.
I said processing disorder. I'm not processing it. I didn't process none of that. You are just one big, beautiful, mixed drink of learning disabilities.
Okay. So how do we fix it? Let's talk solution.
Well, there's no cure for what you have. Oh my God. I got learning herpes? There is no such thing as learning herpes. I'm blistering up.
That is super funny because I can relate. I have something like nobody can cure, so I have to power through it and self-advocate. And I also had to be creative and use other resources of what I've had.
Why has your senior year been difficult, and what challenges have you had to overcome?
This year has been one of the most difficultest years out of all the years because I was set up to graduate but not to go to college. This schedule has been the most difficult schedule out of all my schedules. Senior year should be a year that every senior has fun, you know, get free periods, hang out with all your friends. Get that last before everybody goes to college, but not me. I kind of got stuck in a pickle because I have to advocate for myself now because I have to make up all the time I lost. Everybody knew I wanted to wrestle. I wanted to wrestle in college and show everybody how good of a wrestler I was. But I struggled with my SATs. You know, I got a really low score. I didn't have enough credits from my classes, so I had to take more classes, more core classes for the lost times I had to make up. But I also had to guide the counselors to what I wanted because they obviously had no clue what they were doing. I'm proving to my teachers, myself, and my parents that I can do this. And I'm definitely not a second-class student.
What is the biggest takeaway from this class?
The biggest takeaway I've learned about in this class is that you need to self-advocate for yourself, and also that it's very independent. It's not sheltered. And for that, that really taught me like I'm just like everybody else. And also that I just gotta work harder.
Why is your takeaway from the last question going to be helpful for others watching?
No matter where you are at life, You can be on the football field, the wrestling mat. You could be applying for a job. You could be talking to your coaches, your parents, your friends. It's all about self-advocate. It's also about taking pride in yourself, you know, not getting pushed around, you know, like once you feel like your goal is there, go chase it. Don't let anybody tell you you can't go do it. I was watching this movie in my economics class and it really like stuck with me, and it's called The Pursuit of Happiness and it has Will Smith in it, and he tells his son when they're playing basketball, like his son really wants to be a basketball player, and he tells him, he says, you can't be a basketball player. And that really like downgraded his son, and Will Smith ended up telling his son saying, hey, if you want something, go get it. Period. Don't let anybody tell you you can't go get it. And just that right there really stuck with me because it shows like he was probably told at a young age that he couldn't do what he wanted to do. Now, how about some interesting statistics on kids with IEPs? An estimated 85 to 90% of students with disabilities can meet the same graduation standards as other students with the appropriate support. For many students with disabilities, they are capable for far more than schools give them credit for. More than 200,000 students entering college have some sort of learning disorder, and out of the number, only about 17% take advantage of the learning assistance available to them.
Being where you are today, what would you have done differently?
If I could go back and tell myself in the 9th grade to have more self-advocation and like maybe even look at colleges, even though you're a freshman, just like look in and see what you need to do so that you can get things done and not have to go back like later during your senior year and just go back and try to make everything up. And to add on to that, like I would also tell my 9th grade self, like just to stay on top of homework, make sure everything's turned in, and make sure like you're studying and just getting everything done.
What would you tell someone coming into high school as an incoming freshman?
If I could tell our incoming freshmen, I would tell them to self-advocate and to also stay on top of studies, like your homework, tests. Don't be a slacker or you will fall deep in a hole. I would also tell them to look into like colleges, like either that be a trade school, 4-year college, community college, anything, just anything they want to be, just to looking into that early. And if you're an athlete like me, make sure you get your stuff done now. Make sure you look into colleges, because some athletes can't even play in college right now because they didn't even have the core classes they needed to have done. Well, high school goes by really fast. Doesn't mean you can't still have fun, you know. You still have fun, but you want to make sure you stay on top of stuff. And especially kids with IEPs, you guys have to really stay on top of it and keep your tools sharp and have self-advocation. It's very hard to be humble, especially when I was a freshman and sophomore. I was thinking I was like the badass, the baller, you know, thinking I was too cool to get the help, when actually I regret it. I wish I would have gotten the help. I wish I would have gone out my own way to get the help. To wrap this up, I would like to really say, like, IEP has honestly been a really big struggle, and it's been really, I wouldn't say hard, but like I know a lot of students out there that have IEP just like me. It's hard for them to really talk about it, so this is all coming from the heart. I will be attending Minot State University. It is a 4-year college, and they have an excellent student services program. I will be also studying physical education there. I would like to become a PE teacher, and I would also like to work with disability kids so that I can help them and lead them to the light. P.S. If you didn't know already, I'm going to be wrestling for a D2 college. So I'm pursuing my dreams, am I not?
What are your final words?
Now for my final takeaways. Thank you so much for listening and watching this video. I really hope I impacted the viewers, and I really hope you IEP kids have taken something great out of this. Just one big thing, just one want to say, just pursue your goals, pursue what you want. Don't let anybody tell you you cannot do it, because you can. Just put your mind to it and just tell yourself every day you can do it. And lastly, if your counselor tells you if you want a modified diploma, go ahead and tell your counselor, no.